We live, man. We live and alive.
Yeah, we live. Yeah. All right. Son. Oh, yeah.
Shameless.
All right. So yeah, so tonight we're going to talk about our parasites and cleanse coming up on the 9th of August, 3 days before the full moon and 4 days after the full moon. And that is what it's all about tonight. We are talking about a little thing. We're going to talk about some flavors too, because a lot of people in the Caribbean feed bitters and they feed sour stuff. But bitter and sour are very important. So we're going to tell you what the flavors, how the flavors work in the system. All right. We see the screen right now, right? Yep. All right. All right. We are again with a Keenan Monroe from Trinidad. We getting our
Back with the
products.
boss. Back with the boss. Yeah, the
Yeah.
guru, the guru.
Yeah. We getting our products safe in Trinidad eventually. So a lot of people between the 9th of August.
Yes, by the 9th, we will have the products there for all our people
Trinidad.
in Trinidad.
Yes. So we're working hard with the Bureau of Standards and the Trading Commission and making sure we put everything in place. All right, stop talking so loud, man. Hey, yo. Yeah, so we're gonna have this yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have all this our products in Trinidad as soon as we can. Yeah, wonderful. All right, so tonight we want to go into the program and we're gonna come back and talk about the flavors, how the flavors work. All right, in the system. But we just wanted to mention that a parasite is a sucker of a parasite is a sucker. Yeah? Is a sucker. Yeah, wonderful. Is a sucker of our nutrients. So what we're going to do, because a lot of people who have cancer do not do parasite cleansing. And once you do have cancer, you must do a parasite cleanse. Once you have cancer, you must do a yeast cleanse. Yeah, it's very significant to do these things. Um, if you have a cough, sometimes a parasite get caught in the lung and cause you to have a cough, a constant cough that don't go away. Yeah, and that can be problematic. Parasites also deplete a lot of the B12 vitamin. We're going to talk about the rules in a little while, called deficiency. And a lot of women who have anemia, sometimes they have a lot of parasites and don't even know they have it. There is a worm, there's a worm called the wrong worm. And that particular worm end up in the brain. And a lot of people who have brain fog, trouble with dementia, sometimes even Alzheimer's disease, even tumors in the brain too. It could be coming from the wrong worm. All right, so we're gonna teach you how to move parasite on, and what we do because we didn't have a parasite cleanse since in April, I believe. We try to do a parasitic cleanse and a yeast cleanse every 3 months, always around the full moon, because around the full moon the eggs are hatching. So when the eggs are hatching around the full moon, we can kill the eggs and we can kill the worms at the same time. But if you do not cleanse just after the full moon, all you're gonna do is kill the worms, but you would not kill the eggs. The eggs are still there. Now there is a very dangerous parasite that hook on the intestines, and that parasite is very detrimental to our health. Comes from the pork. A lot of people who eat pork and sushi have a lot of parasites.
All
All
them
right,
sushi eaters, the,
all
the
them
latest
yeah,
trend.
all them sushi eaters. And to be careful with parasites, because parasites can make you feel you sick, but you're not sick. You just have parasites in your system. All right. Now, before we go a little further, we're going to talk about these here. See this here? See that herb? You see this herb called cloves? Now remember all the Christmas people who like to celebrate Christmas and have their ham for the Christmas. Because around December, real ham does sell. I like what?
Well, but that's the
All
time.
the Trinidad and the Caribbean.
All over, all over.
We just have this so-called tradition where we eat a lot
We
of
inherit that.
ham in December because
We inherit that.
it's the both of Christ we eating ham. You see that herb we call cloves? You see it right here? So it is. When they take that cloves, the older people, and they want to eat a ham, they push the cloves in the ham. Why you think they push the cloves in the ham? To get rid of the worms that the ham have. That is the purpose of the older, the elderly people pushing cloves in your ham. Because they knew for a fact that the ham have lots of parasites, and those parasites that the ham have, the pork have, it was hook on your intestines, and it's very difficult to get them off. But the old people are smart because they know this herb, cloves, have lots of eugenol, and it have what we call anti-parasitic activity. It kills any kind of parasite with wormwood and black walnut and sweet honey and elecampane. If the worm is in your lung. So these herbs like cloves, wormwood, quasar, sweet honey, elecampane, garlic, onion, they will kill the worms down below. You understand? But you see, elecampane, Elecampane. Don't forget that herb. It is what we call an expectorant plant. It makes you expel things. But what it does, if a parasite is lodged in your lung, that elecampane will move it out. Yeah? Now, secondly, when we are doing that parasitic cleanse and we're going to kill them parasites, we have to use a special herb to remove them. Because you can kill them, but when you kill them, where do they go? They're still in your intestines. You see what I'm saying? And they cause them more havoc. So we have to use a herb to expel them after we kill them. You see? Because lots of women have yeast in the vagina. And they have what we call recurrence of yeast infections. And then a lot of the time, these infections come from the large intestines. You see? And then it moves into the 450 pathway of the liver, come through into the bloodstream, and end up in the woman's vagina, changes her pH. So what we do for women is we try to at least have a woman do a cleansing of the liver and of yeast every 3 months, so she don't get troubles in her vagina in terms of yeast infections. Because a lot of women go and use yogurt, they use antibiotics, we give you yeast infections too. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach you every 3 months now, and every change of season to bring in a season. Yeah? You're going to do a yeast and a parasite cleanse and a liver cleanse. Now, you're looking at the board now, Sancel, it marked types of parasites. Yeah? The first one is a hookworm. Yeah? Them hookworm. Now, what is a parasite? A parasite is a sucker. He suck you dry, eat up all your nutrients, and then you think you're sick with headaches and eye troubles and liver problems. But you don't know it's a parasite that you have, sucking you dry. We call them suckers. We talk about the function of the liver already. So we're doing phase 1, phase 2, liver detoxification. Yeast, same thing. Yeast grows in your body. Yeast are there. We have, because remember that your mucous membrane produces mucin. Yeah? So we have a certain amount of mucus in the body. But when we have excessive amount of mucus, that's when the trouble starts. You see? Sinuses, excessive amount of mucus. Yeah? Vaginal infection, mucus, excessive amount. Mucus colitis, too much mucus in the intestines, causing inflammation. Follow me. Yeah? Lots of cold, coughing up lots of cold, excessive amount of cold. That is excessive amount of mucus. You see? But a lot of people eat the wrong foods and they create all this excessive amount of mucus, not knowing that they are messing up the mucous membranes that produces mucin. So although we know that mucus is not bad, because your stomach produces mucus, and the purpose of the mucus that is produced in your stomach is to protect the lining of your stomach from the same acid that the stomach produces. The body is wise, you know. Now what God is a great, great God, you know. He knew what he made. He made a machine. So we will teach you now. So let's look at we're on the type of parasite center. Right, we're gonna go right here. Hookworm. You see that hookworm? See the first one? He's a bad guy. Now he's the guy that end up in your brain and cause you to get tumors in the brain, neuroblastoma, and all these kind of tumors, especially in children. The hookworm. Yeah? And there is a doctor from Germany who wrote a book called The Cause of All Cancers. And she emphasized on that hookworm. And because the hookworm is in the brain, sometimes it is more difficult to get rid of the worms in your brain. So we have to go through a process of electrification, electrocuting the worm in your brain.
Okay.
Because it's difficult to kill the worm and get into your brain now. You see? So we have to go through some herbs that help with electricity by the nervous system and shock it in the brain. I'm going to teach you how to do that. Because that worm, when it gets into the brain, it messes you up. But that particular worm called a hookworm can cause deficiency and also cause anemia and reduces fat absorption and interferes with your vitamin A absorption. That's what a hookworm does. Because it sucks everything, causes you to be deficient. But it ends up in the brain. Pituitary tumors, hypothalamus tumor. You know what I mean? That's hookworm. Now, if you look at the hookworm lay larva. So when a worm gets into your intestines, because that area is so warm, they love that. And that is the reason why walking barefooted in the Caribbean is not a good thing. It's good and bad too, because you can pick up parasites from the earth when you're walking barefooted. And that parasite you pick up from the earth, walking barefooted, it lodges in your lung, and it leaves your lung, and it goes straight into the intestines where it's warm and nice, so it can flourish and grow and cause you to have troubles. You follow me? So I'm not saying walking barefooted is bad, because we used to walk barefooted before, but now, walking barefoot in the Caribbean, trust me, you pick up parasites faster. You having a parasite, you living in a house of 5 people, you drinking from a cup, and the person drink from the same cup, get a parasite. You shake somebody's hands, get parasites. You hug and kiss somebody on the cheek, you get parasites. And that's why we said before that when you're going to get rid of parasites and you have a family, you have to do the whole family, children and adults alike. Because we know for a fact that babies, when they get constipated, if you have a 6-month-old baby, a 7-month-old baby, a 5-month-old baby, they can't go to the bathroom, you take a Q-tip and you just put that Q-tip in some olive oil and you just put that baby on the side, the left side, and tickle that baby bottom. Right there, you will see a lot of pinworm coming out. And these pinworms start to clog up the anus or the rectum so that the stool can't pass. So a baby cries with pain. And you ain't knowing that your baby got parasites. Happens all the time. We see it. And all we do is go to the patient's house, the client's house, and take a Q-tip and put some olive oil on the Q-tip, and we just tickle the baby bottom. And you see all the pinworms start coming out. Ooh, like crazy. But baby carry parasites too. Especially when you are putting your children on cow milk. I don't forget that. Mucus forming. Yeah? So the hookworm larva enters the body, through the skin. When you're walking barefooted, through the skin. The hookworm larva enters the body through the skin or the mouth and pass into your lung and go straight into the bloodstream. At the first phase of the hookworm, yeah, it leaves the larva, travels through the bloodstream to your lung. You follow me now? Or you following it? Yeah? It goes from the lung and it goes straight. So if you cough, your coughing going away. You're taking all kind of cough medicine and the coughing going away. That means you have a parasite in your lung, the hookworm. Contain the larva. So the larva go into your lung and you start coughing, no cough. You're going to always take all that cough medicine. It can't go away because the larva is in your lung. And it's making all your lung get congested. If you are cough. So what we do to get rid of the parasite in your lung, we give you the pungent herbs. Pungent herbs. This is pungent, one of the flavors. Onions are pungent. Garlic is pungent. Anchovies are pungent. We give you those with elecampane. And what those do, they go into the lung and they kill the larva. The pungent plant. Don't forget the herb, the word pungent. P-U-N-G-E-N-T. Because the same hookworm goes in and goes straight into the lung. And the larva is right there and make you have a cough. And then the doctor say, why you coughing? They give you all kind of cough medicine. It ain't going away because why? The hookworm is in your lung. And then it goes straight into the stomach. Number 4. The larva pass into the intestines when they mature into adult worms. They're making babies now. And they flood in your intestine. And you now eating the wrong foods, lots of starches, lots of sugars, feeding them. And then you're not going to the bathroom every day. Yeah? You have 1 or 2 bowel movements per week. And then the parasite say, oh, I love that because you're not going to the bathroom. So he sits in your intestine in the warm area and he starts sucking and eating the food that is sitting there. For instance, if you take a piece of meat and you leave that meat outside your house for 3 to 4 days, that meat going to invite worms. That's factual. So after 3 days, you look at that meat outside your house, you're going to see it start to make a lot of fat, mucus, and you're going to see worms in your meat. Why? Because the meat sits there. And then after it sits for a while, it invites these parasites to come. And the parasites eat and suck. And that is what's happening in our intestines. With parasites, they sit in there and they just eat. When you have food sitting inside there for a long period of time, you ain't cleaning, you're constipated, you have all these starches and sugars sitting in the large bowel, and all these parasites, they're happy because they could feed on that. And then automatically, they start to affect the lining of your stomach, of the intestinal walls, and give you what? Inflammation. What is inflammation? Colitis, Crohn's, mucus colitis, troubles in your eyes, high liver enzymes, gallbladder troubles, heart troubles. They call it a heart attack, we call it a worm attack. In the medical system, call it a heart attack. I call it a worm attack your heart and give you a heart attack. Because all them high cholesterol, blocking up the arteries. You know what I mean? That's so-called bad cholesterol. Triglycerides. Right? So number 4, the larva passes into the intestines where they mature into adult worms. The head of the adult hookworm has sharp, curved dental plates that enable the parasite to cling on to the large bowel. Cling on to it. Hold it there. And you can't get rid of it easy. That's what you must do a parasite cleanse. Alright? Now the eggs that is produced by the female worms leave the body in the stool, but the eggs hatch into what? A larva. still inside your intestine. That's the hookworm. Hooker. Yeah? Follow me now. Now, we did a colonic for a nurse. She's a nurse now. And we had 3 parasites that lived at nurse intestines. All of them was at least 36 to 38 inches long. And I showed it to her. I said, sister, you just passed 3 long parasites. Yeah, they're long, 36 inches, living in your body. Yes, ma'am. All right? So the hookworm causes iron deficiency and anemia, and they reduce fat absorption. Can't absorb fat. And they also interfere with your vitamin A absorption. We go to the next one. Let's look at the type of them. Tapeworm, he's a sucker too. He causes pernicious anemia because he blocks your absorption of your B12 vitamin from being absorbed in the intestines. That's what a tapeworm does. So a lot of older people and a lot of vegetarians now, strict vegetarians, lacking in B12 because you have to get B12 from proteins, fresh foods too. But when that B12 get into the system and you have parasites like the tapeworm, he starts to eat up and blocks your B12 from being absorbed in your intestines. And once your B12 cannot be absorbed in the small intestines, you start getting pernicious anemia, which can kill you. That's the tapeworm. Now look at him over here now. Now I want you to look at your intestines. You see how long he is? He's about 36 inches long. He lives inside your intestines. And because your intestine, the large bowel that is 5 feet long, and your small intestine is 21 feet long, he lives inside you. And sometimes when he gets into the small intestines, he starts to mess up your pancreas too. Yeah. And he causes your liver to be overloaded with toxins. And your liver passes all that toxins to your gallbladder. And your gallbladder suffers. You get inflammation, you get sludge in your gallbladder. When you do an ultrasound from the doctor, he sees sludge in your gallbladder, or he sees gallstones in your gallbladder. That means you have liver overload because of all these parasites in your system. So nothing can work properly. They mature. So they're long. So you have to learn, like I did, to do a parasite and yeast cleanse every 3 months to avoid them from making you become deficient and giving you cancer long term. That's a tapeworm.
From what I understand, too, each one of those segments almost represent like an egg in itself.
Yeah.
So that once it breaks, even if one of those little pieces remain large, that would form a whole new tapeworm inside the system.
Exactly.
Also.
Yep. And that's why I said when they get into the lung, they drop this lava in the lung, and the person keep on coughing, cough, 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 and they're trying to figure out why they're coughing so regular, and the coughing can't go away. Coughing up no mucus, but the cough is there.
The expellerant, that's what makes that so important.
That's what I'm trying to tell people every day. Watch me. If all you follow my programs, ain't no doctor seeing all you. If you all follow my program, ain't no hospital seeing all you. Trust me. Because the same foods that we're supposed to use as medicine is killing us. The same foods that we're supposed to use as our medicine is getting us sick. Because your food is your medicine. Yeah. But because we were taught the wrong way, because of traditions, we are using our foods the wrong way. And then the food in turn is causing our organs to kill us. Become criminals. Let's go to the next one. Now these are the bad guys. Now the pinworms on the left hand side is the one that affects children. Babies. 6 months, 7 months, 5 months, 3 months. Once your child, your baby, or your infant is constipated, and you know for a fact that you feed your baby cow's milk, yeah, You know for a fact your baby gonna get excessive amount of mucus because cow milk is mucus forming, and nobody could doubt that. So you because you were taught that the babies have to drink cow milk, but the same calf that suck the cow breast, he don't drink no milk after 2 years old. He eat grass. You see? So when your baby is constipated, I want you to take a Q-tip and put it in some olive oil and turn your baby on the left side, not the right side, the left side. And I want you to put your baby feet up to the baby's
the fetal position.
Yeah, position. And I want you to take that Q-tip and I want you to tickle your baby bottom. And you will see all them pinworm here coming out. Because that's what baby does. So they give you Zentel.
Yeah, that's what they do.
That only kill pinworm. That don't kill nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That don't kill nothing. Zentel don't kill no worm but pinworms.
When we self when we take
Zentel don't kill threadworm. They call it don't kill roundworm. It don't kill hookworm. It don't kill tapeworm. It only kill pinworm. And that's what they give it to children. Because they know a lot of children have pinworms. You follow my brother?
Yeah, so big old hardback me. I think I killing them worms when I taking them Zentel. I didn't know. They having a party in my intestines.
Will you do it around the full moon, brother?
Right. Nah, I'm not doing that. I know.
You tell us we could take all these Zentels and let's take them and kill the parasite. Yes, it will kill your parasites, pinworm that is, but it does nothing for the hatcher. The one that's hatching. You follow me? It's killing the babies, but ain't killing the one that's hatching in your intestines. The eggs. We had to kill the eggs too.
Yep.
So threadworms, roundworm, pinworm, they can damage the cilia in the intestines, causing mineral deficiency, which impairs the function of our immune system. Because your intestines is where you absorb nutrients. So once the threadworm and the roundworm, see them inside? See that one right here? He's a bad guy. He flogs you up. And when he flogs up your intestine, you get constipated. You can't go to the bathroom. And then it gets red on your rectum. And what you get down there, you get trouble in your sigmoid colon. You get sigmoid carcinoma, cancer in the sigmoid colon. You get all these polyps inside there, down in the sigmoid, or you get colorectal cancer. Threadworms. But your doctor won't teach you these things. So these parasites, threadworm and roundworm, they can damage the cilia in the intestine, in the small intestine, that is, causing mineral deficiency, because that's where you absorb your minerals. And when you are impaired or deficient in minerals, your body will become too acidic, because minerals buffering agents. They buffer. So they keep the bloodstream at 7.45. Venous blood, arterial blood, capillary blood. Minerals does that. And that's why the body functions more on minerals than vitamins. Vitamins are good, minerals are better.
That's it.
Dig that, bro.
That's it. Vitamins are good.
Minerals are better.
What are some minerals? Which foods we can look at?
We're going to talk about that. Because vitamin C is the acid vitamin. But if you take too much vitamin C, ascorbic acid, it's going to irritate your kidney because of the acidity of it. So we buffer the vitamin C. So you can take 5,000 milligrams per day. What do we buffer it with? Minerals like calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Because they're buffering agents.
Right.
So the man come and tell you all, Dr. CB say you have to be an alkaline diet. Yes, that's true. But Dr. CB never tell you how to buffer though. You have to learn how to buffer. When you buffer, your pH will stay at 7.0, 7.45. When you buffer. So I buffer a lot even with my foods. So a lot of the rich mineral foods are lettuce, lots of minerals, lots of calcium. Cucumbers, lots of silica, lots of calcium. All the green leafy things. That's where the cow gets it from. But the cow eat the grass and you eat the cow. The cow eat the grass. and get calcium from the grass that he eats. And you go eat a cow. After the cow is taken to slaughter, and all his adrenal glands is all messed up because once the cow is going to slaughter, he is being frightened of being slaughtered, just like any one of us who's going to be put to death.
Toxic meat.
The animals get fearful. And when they become fearful, the adrenal glands start producing lots of adrenaline because of that fear that they have. And after that animal is chopped up, all that poison goes into the animal's muscles. And you buy them things and you eat them regularly. Dig that. Something to think about. And that is the reason why Jehovah God, Yahweh, gave us a alkaline diet in the beginning, but only with vegetables. Because we are not meat eaters by nature, or flesh eaters. Flesh only came in after the so-called flood. Now, and after the flood, there was no vegetation. So it wanted to eat flesh. And the Moses said, okay, well, don't eat this, don't eat that. Eat this, eat that. Don't eat no scavenger. He knew why he said that to us. So the cow eat the grass, get the calcium, and we drink the milk. That is pasteurized. After pasteurization, calcium gone.
Yes.
So they put a hormone calcium in the milk. And they put a hormone vitamin D back in the milk after pasteurization. And you think you're getting calcium, but you're getting what we call man-made calcium. Hormone calcium that clog up the arteries long term and cause you to get what we call a bypass surgery. You follow me? That is the reason why we die prematurely. That is the reason why we're getting older. When we reach in the 30s and the 40s, we can't do nothing no more because too much flesh foods we're eating on a regular basis. So these worms here, they can damage the cilia in your small intestines, causing mineral deficiency, and which can impair your immune system because the immune system needs nutrients to protect us from harm. That's what these parasites do. Yeah? Let's go again. Now I want you to look at yeast infections in the mouth, on the skin, in the vagina, in the penis, in the buttocks. Yeah? Now, remember we said before that the body is very wise. So once the body have an overload of anything, the body try to remove it. That's just nature. Yeah? So once you have a boil on your skin, or you see a boil come up under your arm, and you bust that boil, and you see some white stuff, that's mucus, that's dead cells. Because your body is telling you now that there is an excessive amount of mucus. So you're going to chop the mucus out in a boil. Or a pimple on your face. So all them big pimples on your face that you have, acne, that's mucus. Mucus that the body is trying to come out, excrete. When you have sinuses and you're blowing everything sinuses, that's mucus in the sinuses. When you have troubles in your vagina as a woman, and you have all that excessive amount of yeast coming out, that excessive amount of mucus, your body's trying to remove. You follow me? So we go in and we try to help the body to remove the excessive amount of mucus that is causing you to have the troubles. So when you have yeast, the yeast can come anywhere. It come in your mouth, you get it in your tongue, coated tongue, mucus. Evaporation, we have to move it out. Yang and yin and yang principle. One is down, one is up. You must go down and you must go up with yin, you must go down with yang. It's a principle. So when you have all these conditions and you go back eating fruits, because fruits have sugars, that's good. But you're feeding the parasite. You're feeding the yeast infection because they like sugars. That's the one flavor that they like. And we know for a fact that sugar goes up and out. And sugar balance with what? With bitters. So that's the reason why when you're going to have some bitter tea, you put some sugar in there because they balance. Follow me now. So you go to the sugar or you go to the bitter and you say, oh my goodness, bitter, I want some sugar. So you put the sugar to balance it back. Because sugars and bitters balance or sour balance. So anything sour, balance with the bitter. This is the bitter right here. This is Morbi. Morbi is bitter. So lots of people in Grenada and the Caribbean countries boil Morbi, and because it's so bitter, they don't drink it, so they put a sugar because it's a balance. You see what I'm saying? But when you have to kill a parasite, you must use the bitters with all the sugars. You see? When you want to help your liver, you have to use the sour with all the sugars. Because sour is for your liver. And bitters is to increase your digestive juices and kill parasites. But because we're afraid, we're scared of bitters, we don't drink them. Because we're scared of sour, we don't drink it. But this here called tambourine, the sour one, you know what it does? Tambourine does? Tambourine prevents your skin from becoming what we call in the old age, not scaly, what they call it old wrinkles.
Really?
This year's tambourine.
Oh, that's it.
Tambourine does strengthen the flashy tissues of the skin because it's sour. It works to your liver. And because the liver is the foundation of healthy skin, the liver works better when you eat sour. So the sour keeps the flashy tissues healthy. So when you get older, you don't get all the wrinkles under your eyes. Sour, but we're scared of sour.
If I scared of sour again, Patrick, I ain't lying. Pressure. Give me one, Patrick, give me one.
And it's scared of bitter too. What we know? Yeast and parasite. See there? Woo! A man think he can't do that me. What's that there? But I ain't afraid of though. Woo! But I know when it's going on inside my system, it's killing yeast and parasites.
I think I'm talking in tongues.
Tell you. So we have to know the flavors and what they do. Now, this is pungent. So you have sweet, you have salty, you have sour, you have bitter, and you have pungent. Now, pungent is significant also because pungent can also work on your lung with killing anything in the lung that is lodging in your lung like COVID. Pungent does that. Pungent also can go into the stomach and kill anything that is in the stomach. That's what we call them food herbs. Food herbs, we call this here. There's a purpose of them going in your food to kill anything that is trying to kill you in the stomach or in the large intestine. We call them pungent. And then you have the sour and you have the sweet. And sweet goes, this one here goes up and it goes out. Sugar goes up and out. Salt goes down and in. See? Salt goes down and in. Damage your joints. Damage your veins. If it's not a good salt. Yeah? But the salt also works with the sweet. And the salt also works with the pungent. You have to know what to mix it. I teach it all right. I teach it like that. Yeah. So when we're going to kill the yeast, we know for a fact that for you to have all these troubles on your skin, in your lips, in your mouth, like when you have HIV or AIDS, full-blown AIDS, when you have AIDS and your immune system is not working properly, what happens to you?
You shut down.
You get all these yeast in your mouth.
Oh, really?
Because that's what happens, bro. Because the immune system is all messed up. The CD4 cell is so low. You can't fight nothing. You can't fight yeast. You can't fight parasite. You get cancer because nothing can be fought.
Got you.
Because the immune system is all in balance now because AIDS kill it. So when you have AIDS now, yeast grows. When you have AIDS, everything grows. So you get all this yeast in your mouth, canker sores in your mouth because the immune system can't protect you. So when we want to fix a yeast infection, we go to the immune system. And you said today that the World Health Organization said that the immune system works better than any kind of thing they put in your arm.
Yeah, the immune system. Yeah, they say your body naturally building up resistance for
God is
COVID is better
great.
than any vaccine.
God
The
is
World
great.
Health Organization published
You
that.
can never come against Jehovah God because you're going to mash them down. Because he knew he created this here. And he knew how he created this body with armies, Air Force and Marines and and Navy. He knew what he created. So they can't come and tell me nothing about the Most High because our immune system, if a pig will kill anything that come in to harm us. Am I right, brother?
Amen to that.
All right. So what we're doing is now, we're going on a 14-day cleansing of parasites, yeast, and fungi. And if you have cancer, any kind of cancer, multiple myeloma especially, when you have bad plasma cells, because multiple myeloma is the cancer of the bones. Yeah? Multiple myeloma is the cancer of the bones from the plasma cells of the bone marrow. You better do a yeast and parasite cleanse. Working on your spleen. Yeah? So the first thing, the 14-day we're going to do. They ain't gonna like that, man. We're gonna clean the intestines on the first night, and then on the 14th night, we're gonna take another cleansing to remove the parasites. Cleansing of the intestines, modifying the diet, helps to remove parasites and yeast. Black walnut, cloves, wormwood, elecampane, blessed thistle, probiotics, AP compound, AF compound, or papric digestion parasite cleanse. And what we do is we restore the function or the energy of the digestive system. Don't forget I said before, we have to restore the function of the digestive system in order for us to prevent deficiencies. We have to restore the function of our immune system by using the foods that will feed our cells and move waste out of the cells. That's the key. But how are you going to do that when you have a lot of parasites living in your system?
True. That is so true. My goodness.
Papaya seeds are good too. You can use papaya seeds. You see papaya seeds? You eat them, you chew them up, they kill parasites too. They don't kill any parasite, but they kill a lot of parasites. But you see this herb right here? Black walnut, cloves, wormwood, elecampane. See them there together? And what herb called sweet honey and quasar? They kill any parasites. Pinworm, tapeworm, hookworm, threadworm, patrickworm, keenan worm, all kind of worm.
Yeah, I sure I just get some whatever. When I put this in, I show some worms just there. That's
You
for
see,
sure.
but you must do it 3 days before the full moon and 4 days after the full moon. So you can kill the eggs and you can kill the worms at the same time. So I want to tell people every night, every day, every 3 months, you put away 14 days. And you and your whole household do a yeast, a parasite cleanse, and fungi cleanse. And your household will stay healthy. And no doctor will see you. And no hospital will see you either. I could guarantee you that. Yeah? Wonderful. So we're looking at minerals in solution. So when you restore the function of the immune system, you're going to use your B vitamins. You're going to use the B6 for the thymus gland. You're going to use vitamin C for the thymus gland because vitamin C is found in the thymus and B6 is found in the thymus and zinc is found in the thymus gland also because if the thymus gland do not have enough zinc, your thymus gland will shrink prematurely and you will get a cancer faster. Don't forget I told you that. I said, if you don't have enough zinc in the body, and if the zinc is not being utilized in the thymus gland, your thymus will shrink prematurely. Although we know for a fact, the older we get, the time will shrink, but they don't lose the ability to kill for us. But when it becomes deficient of that mineral called zinc, it shrinks prematurely, and then you start getting a cancer faster. So take your zinc, 30 milligrams for women, 50 milligrams for men, because it is also found in our prostate gland. So men need more zinc than women do.
In our sperm. Yeah.
Children, 15 milligrams in the liquid form, or good multivitamin in liquid from food base, like Rainbow Light or plant source. Yeah? So, minerals in solution, and you can use Romanian echinacea if you do have an immune problem. Yeah? And you do that program on the 9th of August for 14 days, because the full moon starts on the 12th of August.
Okay.
So we must do it 3 days before the full moon and 4 days after the full moon, and we will give you another extra 7 days to normalize and restore the energy of the digestive system, so you can have what? Good digestion. You can have good what? Absorption. And you can have good elimination. So on the 14th day, on the 14th night, I want you to get 2 herbs for me. One is called senna leaf, not senna parks. Senna, S-E-N-N-A, leaf. And another herb called ginger. And I want you to boil them on the 14th night. After you do the parasite cleanse and yeast cleanse and fungi cleanse. And I want you to drink that on the 14th night. Yeah? Because you're going to be eating, but you would not be eating no sugars. You would not be eating no fruits. Period. Nothing with sugars. Only herbs and bitters. And some form of beans and peas, because they're what we call primary foods, but they have a glycemic index of 28. Follow me now. Read those. I want you eating no flesh to go and sit in your intestines and invite more parasites, because we're cleaning and we're removing them. And if you have cancer, even better, do it every 3 months. And when you take that the senna leaf and that ginger, after the 14th night, I want you to go and stool in a pail, or take a stick and dig up your toilet bowl and see them. You're going to see some. If you do have a lot of them, you're going to see a lot of them, because we did it for a very big, heavy brother, Indian guy, and we give him a colonic. And when he went to the bathroom, the whole toilet bowl was full of worms. I see it every day. And when you flush them out, after the 14th night, you kill them, you got to flush them out now. You flush them out, and then the next day, you go back in the environment and you start restoring the energy of your digestive system. And then you could come on my post and on my page and tell me how you feel. And I could guarantee you, you will get rid of all them cough that you had. You will get rid of all them infection that you had, yeast you had. You're going to get rid of all them bars that coming up under your skin and clogging up your lymphatic system. You won't get rid of anything in your liver, because you'll be clean from yeast and parasites and fungi. And your whole family going to be healthy. And then I want you to go and teach someone else, because each one teach one. In the neighborhood. Go into the neighborhood and teach someone else. They might resist, because they know better. Because remember that we've been told a lie 1,000,000 times. And we believe the lie. And a man come with the truth one time, and I say, no. He's under the lie, because we've been taught this lie for so long. That's what made Christ a great man. Because Christ came with the truth of the Most High. And he told people how to serve God the right way. Whereby the Pharisees, the so-called Sadducees, the high priest, they were lying to the people. And the people believe the lie. So when a man come and heal a man, Christ said, get up and walk. Go and wash your eye after I've spit on the clay and put it in your eye and go wash. And a man said, oh, shoot, I see now. Oh, damn. And a man said, well, watch me now, boy. You are getting all these demons, blindness, by Beelzebub. So how you gonna clean somebody else dealing with the demons? Can't happen. The demon infesting us. So they taught us wrong. They taught us to eat 3 meals per day, 4 meals per day. They taught us to eat food in the night time. They taught us to go and sleep with food sitting on our intestine. They taught us that because we didn't know better. They taught the husband to have his meal ready when he comes from work at 6 o'clock in the evening, on 7 o'clock at night. Have his wife have his meal ready, and he sit on a table with a big plate of fried rice, barbecue chicken.
Yeah, lunch in the night.
A piece of pork, some gravy, some yam, some breadfruit, some peas, and a small amount of vegetables. And the wife feed her husband like that for 30 years. Because she ain't no better, because she was taught by her mother how to cook.
That's a good.
So she gave her husband the same diseases that her father had. And she gave her husband the same diseases that her mother had, because she was taught the wrong way. And that's why I said before that the woman is killing us unconsciously. They're killing with penis too. Unconsciously. Because when you reach 30 and 40, you have an ED already, erectile dysfunction. Yeah? 45, you can't have an erection. And you go to the doctor, and then you say, well, you can't pee. I hear penis now. Well, you can't pee, son. What you gonna do? Here, Albert said, hey, Pat, hey, Doc, you gotta put that, I can't pee. Penis said, well, how you gonna go there? How you gonna go in the pum pum? Because pum pum no waiting, no, can't get to it because a cat can't take your penis. And the pastor said, yes, Albert, I warned you. You're having sex too regular. You're eating the wrong foods. You ain't taking no zinc. You ain't taking no salt and metal. You ain't doing no parasite cleanse. So I make your prostate enlarge. I hear the Master Albert. So prostate, why did you do that? Hey, prostate, now. Because you keep on eating the wrong foods. You would not do that to me. And the penis say, yes, Albert, you did it to me too. Because if you could have killed the pum pum, you want to abuse it. So here you are now, with a kataka and me. And you can't pee. You follow me? And you're going back to the doctor. And the doctor say you have high blood pressure. And he give you some what? Some beta blockers. And he slow up your heartbeat with the beta blockers. And when he slow up the heartbeat, hear the penis now. Albert, what did the doctor give you? Albert say, give me some beta blockers. Don't you know that the beta blockers called by me? I can't get hard no more. He slow up the heartbeat. The heart can't pump the blood to me. Albert, go back to the doctor and tell him, take you off them beta blockers, please. And come back to me. And you ain't worried with him? You say, the doctor is right because he is God on the earth. So he knows what he's talking about. And the penis said, okay, all right. Keep on taking your beta blockers now, Albert. Albert said, I'm going to take my beta blockers. And then all of a sudden, you go back to the doctor. The doctor say, Albert, what's going on? Doctor, I'm ED. Oh, I'm going to give you some Cialis or some Viagra. And you go in and you take the Viagra and the Cialis and you go in and you say, whoo, heart attack in your tail now. And you go to the doctor to open your chest. And then when you come out now, your wife say, Albert, I just talked to Jane, and I tell Jane, you ain't doing good sexually. And then Jane go spread the word to Green, and whole Green, whole Green, know your business. And then Jane say, well, here now, I know a man called Patrick Dells, go by he go fix all you up. So you have to come back to the earth. Because your penis talking to you and your prostate talking to you, you're not listening. And you're coming with katika in your penis. And you have a woman young in the 40s and you're 45, 46, 47, and you have a katika in your penis because you cannot pee. It happening every day in Grenada. I'm seeing them all the time. Yeah? You follow me? And you're taking high blood pressure medication. Your periods can't get hard. You ain't cleaning. You ain't doing parasite cleanse. You ain't doing yeast cleanse. But you feel you could kill the punani. You cannot kill it. So you have to make sure and listen to your prostate gland and listen to your penis. Because when you say your penis, say, yo, you're Patrick. What you been doing, man? See, boy, I've been relaxing, piggy wiggy. How long have you? Well, take about a month off. That's good, Patrick. Albert. Well, how many times? 5 times. Patrick, how many times? 1 time. Next day. Albert, how much wrong did you make? Albert say 4. Patrick, how much wrong did you make? Patrick say 1. He come back again. Albert, then the 3rd day. How much wrong did you make? Albert say 3. Patrick, how much wrong did you make? Patrick say 1. He come back again. Albert, how much wrong did you make? Albert said 2. Patrick, how much you make? Patrick say 1. He come back again the next time. He say, Albert, how much wrong you make? Albert say 1. Patrick, how much you make? Patrick say 1. He come back again. Albert, how much you make? Albert say none. Patrick, how much you make? Patrick say 1. Albert's been abused. That's sad.
And you know,
them things.
the next thing that I recognized a lot of that we have been taught wrongly
Yes, sir.
is that every time a man has intercourse, that he has to ejaculate. That is the big. No, I'm telling you, that is one of the biggest things, especially in the black community, where we believe without that aspect of it, then you're not doing anything. But you would not believe how much of your energy, your chi, your health is balled up inside of those chemicals that you expel. They say actually it's 3 meals. It's an average of 3 meals every time you expel.
Yeah.
You ejaculate. 3
Because
meals, guys.
remember that we ejaculate minerals, vitamins, amino acid, and enzymes.
Thank you.
And remember that enzyme resists the woman's pH in her vagina. That's what the enzyme does. And that's why when a man having sex with a woman, she can't get pregnant. Sometimes it's because the man is not ejaculating enough of the enzyme. So when the sperm get in, the woman's pH in the vagina kills the sperm because the enzyme resists the sperm to make the sperm go in.
Not there.
Exactly.
Yes,
So
right.
all of these things that we jack out, when we finish jack out, what is she giving us? She's taking everything that you have. She having a good orgasm, yeah, she feel good. But when you jack out 3 times, 4 times per day, you crazy. You're going to sleep, you're going to, and she watch and she laughs. She said, "You're sleeping." And in long time, the more you ejaculate, is the more you mess up your brain, because when you ejaculate, you fall asleep because that brain is being messed up. And when you get older is when you start to have trouble with memory deficiency, dementia, because all them amino acid and all them vitamin and mineral and enzyme gone in the punani that you feel you could have
Yeah, we just emptying it into that bank, the furry bank, and you making deposit.
I'm teaching your son. Watch it from young.
Making deposits.
All right, so tonight we're gonna get ready on the 9th of. You have the numbers there, son, under the screen. All right, wonderful. We're gonna have the number. We're gonna have the program. I mean, we talking facts. So don't forget that. Women, make sure that you see about your husband and your boyfriends, because later on they will have troubles. A man could come and tell me, "Oh, this all kind of don't have troubles long term."
You mind calling out the numbers for them, Patrick?
Yes,
so
please.
Yeah.
Right, and then you have Ambrosia Health Food Store is on 3306 Church Avenue, ambrosiahealthfoods.com, and you have Ambrosia Health Food number store is 1718-469-0985, and Ashanti going to have a lot of the yeast and parasite cleanse there, and a lot of our stuff is off the website because they're all out of stock. Yeah, but we are trying to get back as I'll be in New York soon. A lot of the products are sold out of the or the stock. So we just having them back in stock again on the label again. So please bear with us. You know, we're not big, we're small, and my son is just one person taking care of the business when I'm not there. So be very patient. You'll get everything on when you get the products soon. But just be patient, okay? So we're going to start our program on the 9th of August. and I think I'll be in New York around that time. So we could start the program together and then we'll do some more lives, and then you could give us a feedback on how you feel after the program on my post. Okay?
And let me just say this, Patrick. The numbers that you're seeing on the screen, those are the only numbers to call to get Mr. Delves.
Yeah.
Any other number, it belongs to a scammer.
Yeah.
That is why we are having the numbers on the screen, and from time to time we'll be calling the numbers out, because right now what I understand, the scammers are actually taking these videos, putting it on their page,
Yep.
and then giving you a number to call.
Yep.
So just remember, the numbers you're seeing on the lives now that we have, those are the numbers to call.
Diligent.
We'll be calling out the numbers also during the live so that you'll know those are the numbers to
Yeah.
call. Don't call any other.
And then again, I'm trying to avoid going on Messenger. That's why I said people don't answer Messenger, because that scammer is going on Messenger with my picture, with my videos, with all my posts, and he's fooling you all. And that's why I don't use Messenger. I had to go there. So don't message me on Messenger, please. You have the numbers. You can add me on WhatsApp if you have that app, and you can give me FaceTime. Whenever you want Messenger, ask them for FaceTime. It's time for them to stop, but they ain't stopping. So you have to ask them for FaceTime. You want to see them face to face. Demand your FaceTime. When you say FaceTime, they don't want to do FaceTime. You know that's scammers.
Exactly.
You know, and then they have WhatsApp. They have a WhatsApp number with my face too, with my picture on
Just
WhatsApp.
make sure the numbers you want to
It's a
use on the
929
screen.
number. So any number 929-414-59, and they have my picture there on WhatsApp also. Me as a DP, so you know it's not me. FaceTime. I give you numbers: 631-530-2329, 1473-416-2310, 1473-420-0856. Ambrosia, 718-469-0985 or 718-704-6566. Any other number, or you want to take your own money, don't come back and tell me anything, because I've been warning you all every day, and I've been putting up all the information there so you all could see. Dr. Ozzy does the same thing. So-called Dr. Ozzy, a black brother again. Brothers. Brothers. I love brothers. I love my brothers. But you all have to stop scheming. You come on my page every time I put up a post or a live. You come with a computer and you put up all these different fake pages. And you put it up on the level and say, oh, there's a Herbal Dr. Ozzy. And it's you doing that. You're creating these fake pages. So it's not nobody that is telling you to go to Dr. Ozzy. He's the one that putting up all these fake pages, making you all feel that it's somebody else, but it's a fake page. We have to learn these things. Otherwise, you're going to get scammed, and then you're going to come back to me and say, Patrick, I made an order from you on Messenger, and I get my order for 3 weeks now, and it's not me. That's why I don't want nobody to, I don't scheme nobody. My father taught me, don't take what belongs to me. If I harm anybody else, you tell me, I will try my best to recompense you. That's how I work. I don't want God, I don't want Jehovah God to take away my blessings. So I try to live good with my people. You understand?
This is why we'll be continuously having the numbers on the screen. You'll be calling all the numbers. Call those numbers. The websites and stuff, we'll start having those on the screen also, so you'll know exactly where you could go to get him directly.
Yeah. I'm not perfect. I'm imperfect. But I try my best to live good with people. So I have to look around. You know what I'm saying? Right? So we're gonna have this policy in Trinidad soon, before the 9th.
Yes.
I mean, working on the export license, and
yes, we are.
We went to the Ministry of Health today. We went to the Bureau of Standards today. We're gonna go to the trading place tomorrow. So we're working to have our stuff.
Just this week is biochemists, people in production, people with labeling, people with ministries, and all the different areas in order to get this done legitimately, so that we wouldn't have any problem in any country for anyone to receive anything. Because at the end of the day, what is the goal of this whole mission? We have to heal this world, heal each other, heal the planet. And as he said, when you get the information, don't try to pay it back, pay it forward. That's the key.
Because people want to distribute in Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, not Trinidad and Barbados, St. Lucia, the Bahamas, Anguilla, even St. Kitts, and Antigua also. And we all, they're all brothers and sisters, Jamaica also. So what we're trying to do is create a system whereby you in the Bahamas could have the products there as a distributor, and don't have to go through a problem with the customs or the FDA. That's what we're trying to avoid, okay? Yeah? So once we avoid that, then we could build up that black entity. So you in the Bahamas, we have a love. You in Barbados, we have the same love. Keenan and I have the same love. Jamaican brother have the same love. You know what I mean? Antigua brother have the same love. Guyana brother have the same love. We love you. Dominica brother have the same love because we all together.
Yeah.
And once we can do that as a people, we're going to show others that we as a people can communicate and unite ourselves. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
One of the biggest warfare that it has in the world is biological warfare.
Yes, sir.
And they're not just doing this now where they're talking about diseases they're injecting into you. No, the food itself is where the biological warfare
Don't
is
forget
now.
that. The
Always
food.
remember that.
The food.
The biology, because once you not at your maximum peak efficiency, you cannot operate like that. Once you're sick, you cannot operate
Yep.
in your best capacity. Think about when it is you get a cold or you get something and you're down and out, you can't go and do as you want. Look at what COVID did in the last 2 years. It ravaged the world economy because people were sick and then there were people panicking. And it all because of people's immune system that cannot deal with something that it's supposed to be able to deal with. But there are people, there are systems and entities that are out there that ensuring that you are not at maximum peak state in your internally, so that these things you're more susceptible to them. This is where these things are so important.
Because I got sick with COVID on the 27th of January 2021, and I ain't get sick. I got it. And they was amazed. The same city, New York City, keep on calling me every day because I had to quarantine. I obey the law. When they call me, you don't have no side effect. You could breathe. You could, yes. You have no side effect. No. You can smell. Yes. You can taste. Yes. Any headaches? No. So who are you? You come from space? No. Because I said to them, I take care of my immune system. That is the key. So when I went back and checked again, I said to the doctor, give me the test, and then give me an antibody test. Give me the PCR test, and then give me the antibody test. And when she took my antibody test, she said it would come back 250. It's supposed to be 0 to 79. She asked me, what do you do? How your antibodies so high? You have protection. Eh? Because I know for a fact, with my high antibodies, ain't no sucker could come back. Because they're going to hold him. Because that's the key. I was trying to tell people every day. And you don't get sick. Even though you get sick, you don't get sick for long. So don't let them make you feel that you have to get a syringe put into you so you don't get sick. That's not true. I didn't get sick. They call me asymptomatic. That's what they call me, people like me. So, you know, and at my age, they want me to feel, oh, yeah, that age is supposed to be going to the hospital. Hell no. They can't see me unless I get into accident. You see what I'm saying to you? It's just that we were taught so wrong that we eat the foods in the night time. We eat 3-4 meals per day. We don't clean. We don't detox. We don't do parasitic cleanse. We don't do yeast cleanse. And in long term, these diseases catches up with us. And then we run to the man who was never taught in his school system to fix that disease. So he come and tell you, there is no cure for lupus. There is no cure for scleroderma. There is no cure for myasthenia gravis. There is no cure for muscular dystrophy. There is no cure for Crohn's disease. There is no cure for colitis. There is no cure for IBS. There is no cure for cancer. There is no cure for HSV. There is no cure for HIV. There is no cure for nothing. Because he was taught in his system that there's no cure. So he was taught to work for the big guys, the Rockefellers. I'm going to leave you all with that tonight. Next live you're going to have is maybe next week. You're going to talk about water, what water does. We're going to talk about children's health from infancy to 15 years old. How to keep your children healthy and from keeping them from going into the system, in the institution, and preventing your children from getting asthma and childhood cancers. That's what we're going to talk about next week. We're going to give you the day. Give thanks and praises to the Most High. Blessed night, everybody.
Blessed night, man. Blessed night. What's the program?
We have a free program. We have a free question and answer. You don't have to pay nothing. It's going to be for free. You can ask me anything. You can spend about 45 minutes. And you could get your questions on pen and paper, and you could ask me anything on YouTube and on Facebook, and we will answer you free of course. We call it free information.
I want to put in a request. I want to put in live too. I want to see a program on dealing with lead. This lead we have in the atmosphere and the mercury and the fish, and then that heavy metal and the cleansing of that out of our system.
So what we're going to do is if God give us help next week, maybe Monday or Tuesday, we're going to do a live on heavy metals, mercury.
The average person has a deficiency of 5 or more IQ points lower because of the amount of heavy metals that there is in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
They prove that. That is already statistically there. You could go and check it out. Each one of us, we are suffering from the heavy metal poisoning in our system because we are saturated by the very air we breathing. And once you living in a country with cars, you would have lead inside of you, you know. And lead is proven to drop your IQ, your intellectual ability, your intellectual quotient. It is, well, he could tell you all the rest of things, cancer and all the different things that it causes inside of your body. So I know that is so important.
We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, man.
And we're going to go into your spleen. Because some heavy metal like your spleen and some like your brain. Aluminum like the brain and mercury like the spleen. So we're going to talk about that and we're going to teach you how to get rid of heavy metals by doing a heavy metal cleanse. Thank you, my brother, for bringing that up. Yeah? Love always. Give thanks. Peace. Son, say that good job. I'm proud of you, man. I love you, son. Yeah, man. You love your father too, son? Yeah. You sure you love me? Yeah.